Después sacar las manos.
No estoy sacando.
Looks like your next one's right behind me. We're just going to finish loading up your folks. We should head out into the reserve very shortly.
We're gonna see wild animals. Imagine we see a lion and it jumps up. The lion's gonna come and jump up like, oh, it's gonna bite my hand off.
Let's go. Hello, Jumbo, everyone. My name's Kevin. I'll be your safari guide for our journey through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Now, for those of you taking photos or videos, be sure to hold on nice and tight to those cameras. Reserve does not allow me to stop, pick up, drop cameras or anything else.
Wow, we're going to the water.
And if you do have adjustable settings, you want something more like an action or sports setting, you can kind of tell the truck moves around quite a bit, and so will those animals. Now we're beginning our adventure here in the Little Aturi Forest. It's densely populated and heavily vegetated, and sometimes make those animals tricky to see, especially because their natural colors and camouflage will make them blend in quite well. Keep our eyes open. Actually hiding at the top of the hill off to the left, you see an orangish brown animal. Those are bongo. They're very rarely seen, in fact so much so they've been given the nickname Ghost of the Forest. Also way off to the right, you might see that animal with black and white markings on its legs. That is an okapi. Because those black and white markings, a lot of people think the okapi is related to the zebra. However, it is the only known relative of the giraffe. It's a very shy and reclusive animal as well. In fact, even though it was known about by local tribes in Central Africa for quite some time, it wasn't really learned about by the Western world until approximately 1901. We're passing around a watering hole here on our left, usually a good area to keep watch for animals. Obviously, they'll come down throughout the day, get a drink of water or two. By the way, if at any point you see an animal before I tell you what it is, you do have an animal spotting guide above your heads. It's there to help you identify some of the animals you might see out here on the reserve today. You don't always see all of them, usually have pretty good luck. And there's another type of forest antelope here coming up on the right, these light tan ones. These are greater kudu. Greater kudu, one of the tallest antelope. Males can get up to about 55 inches at the shoulder.
See him right there eating?
Agarra bien el teléfono.
Ajá, lo estoy agarrando muy bien.
Now we are making our way from the forest towards the river, more specifically the Safi River. And as you might imagine, the river is going to be an area to keep watch for more aquatic type animals. In fact, some of the animals that might call a Safi River home are going to be things like Nile crocodile or hippopotamus. Let's see if any are in the area today.
What are they doing? Hey!
Sometimes hippopotamus will be kind of tricky to see. They'll spend a lot of their day in the water, even submerging themselves completely underneath the water surface, up to 8 minutes at a time. Obviously coming up periodically, get a breath of air.
We're in the water.
There's actually a group of hippos off to the left there. By the way, a group of hippos is called a
hippos!
Like I said, they spend pretty much all day in the water, just usually coming up at nighttime to graze along the riverbanks. They'll even roam a few miles away from the river if need be. Of course, when the sun comes back up, they're always going to return to the protection of the water. Also, those large white birds across the islands, those are pink-backed pelicans. They'll get their namesake coloration a bit more towards mating season. And they're very big colonial nesters as well, sometimes gathering in groups of 20 all the way up to about 500 pairs of them. Well, I mentioned crocodile before, and sure enough, there's quite a few Nile crocodiles down there on the left. Now, Nile crocodile, on average, only eat about 1 full meal per week.
They look so fake.
They go months without eating when food is scarce. And they do have enough power in their jaws to crush the bones of their prey. It can be about 2,000 pounds per square inch.
They look so fake, but they're so real. I saw one move its hand.
We are going to make our way towards the savannah now. And the savannah, with its large variety of plants and animal life,
crocodile move its hand.
Tends to be the type of ecosystem many people will picture when they think of the African wild. And it's for that reason and many more why we should all do our part to help protect these animals that we hold so near and dear.
Oh, giraffe!
Now we are coming up on one of my favorite views in the reserve. You'll see why in just a moment. Get a nice view of the reserve all at once from up here. Look out over the savannah. You can already see a few animals in the distance. We should get a better view of them as they make their way around. Of course, kind of scattered throughout off to the right, you're going to see a few giraffe. Those appear to be Maasai giraffe. Get a bit closer to some of them.
Míralos, perros.
If you look carefully off to the left, you might see them lying down way off to the left-hand side of that area. There are some African wild dogs, also called painted dogs. That's kind of a painted coloration of their fur.
Their name's on over there.
Also way off to the left, you'll see some brown animals with curved horns. Those are sable antelope. Sable antelope there is the official emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Might have seen the animal silhouette on our sign just before we enter the reserve. And all of these mounds here are of course termite mounds. They can be as hard as concrete, made up of a mixture of soil, saliva, and dung. Sometimes elephants will use them like a scratching post. Once they've worn them down, antelope will use them as a lookout point, keep watch for possible predators in the distance.
Uh-oh.
Like I said, you can see those Maasai giraffe again here. There's one off to the right, another one coming up on the left.
See that one right there?
I want to see its.
Giraffe being one of the tallest animals on Earth. Adults can get up to about 18 to 20 feet tall.
I want to see its blue tongue. Oh.
Even the young ones can average about 6 feet at birth.
It's scratching on the tree. Ah.
And they'll actually spend quite a bit of their time eating. In fact, about 16 to 20 hours of the day is spent eating, as opposed to only about 30 minutes of the day sleeping.
Hi, giraffe.
Now we are going to be making our way past an area commonly referred to as Monkey Point. So called because sometimes you might see mandrills in the area. Mandrill's one of the largest monkeys. They can be quite shy, however, often hiding in the treetops, behind branches, etc. Of course, a lot easier to see is going to be the African elephant. It's Right now, straight ahead of the truck, you'll see it off to your right as you make the turn here. Yeah, if I had to guess, I'd say that's more likely a male elephant. The adult males tend to be a bit more solitary, whereas the females are gathering small groups. Yeah, there are some mangoes on the left as well. They're kind of behind the trees there.
Monkeys!
Small rock structure.
It's on a swing.
And that elephant there is kind of on the outskirts of elephant country here. We're actually going to delve a little further into elephant country, see if we can find any more. Like I said, we're going to be making our way into elephant country by way of the red clay pits. Red clay pits kind of act as an unofficial marker of the beginning of elephant country. And here are those clay pits actually. It looks like some elephants might have come through the area not too long ago. There's some tusk markings in the clay. Actually, elephants will sometimes eat the